Lady and gentlemen, this is the Monday, April 13th, 2026 meeting of the Hermosa Beach Civil Service Board. First item is the roll call. Member Illman?
Here.
Member Wolf?
Here.
Member Williams?
Here.
And I'm Member Collins. I'm present as well. Member Jones is excused as she's ill. Let's see, what do we do now? All right, Pledge of Allegiance. You get to lead it.
Excuse me. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We already did roll call. Announcements for the Civil Service Board? Are there any announcements? Public comment.
This is a time for members of the
That's
public.
just a statement of what they
Yeah.
get to do, okay.
I did not receive any speaker cards, and I do not have any hands raised online.
All right, fine. Our-
I'm sorry. I do have one public commenter online.
Identify yourself, please, sir.
Tony Higgins, your 3 minutes will start when you begin speaking.
Yeah, hello. I have a question, and the Brown Act doesn't prohibit you from answering a question. It prohibits you only from taking a legal action on it or a vote. So the question is related to MOUs, Memorandum of Understandings. I could be wrong, but I've seen the MOUs and the financial obligations associated with them show up as unbudgeted expenses, meaning if you do an MOU later this year, it's going to show up as an unbudgeted expense. Is that true?
Well,
And-
sir, let me point out to you that this board has nothing to do with the negotiation or enforcement of the MOUs.
Oh,
We do civil service stuff.
I thought the MOUs was for civil service employees.
It is, but it's negotiated by the city manager and his assistants with directly with the unions. We don't have any authority to negotiate, to change, or even to enforce them.
But you can't speak to the city about a problem with the budgeting process.
Well, again, that's out of our bailiwick.
Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Any other requests for public comment?
I do not see any more hands raised at this time.
All right, consent calendar, we have two items on the consent calendar. They're both minutes of previous meetings, the minutes of the meeting of February 19th, 2025, and the meeting of December 1st, 2025.
I need to comment
Go
on
ahead.
those.
Which
So
one?
on the action minutes, I'm not suggesting we shouldn't approve them, but I need to comment that the minutes of the February 19th, 2025 meeting, so
No, 2020, it says 2025.
2025, so I was reviewing the minutes, and it says I'm absent, and I'm saying this for the record that I'm like conscientious and like didn't know there was a meeting. So I dug through my emails, and I don't know what happened, but I truly believe I was not notified, I just want to say that, because it says board member absent, me. Also, while I'm at it, not to be fussy, but my name is misspelled throughout. It's either ANN with no E or Willams. So I don't know if maybe they typed my email in wrong and I didn't get notice. But, so my name is misspelled throughout, and I just didn't get notice.
So it's Ann without an E?
It's Ann with an E.
Oh, with an E, okay.
And then it's like the easiest name, right? It's Ann with
Yes.
an E and Williams. But it's, and I don't mean to sound so critical, but it's never spelled correctly in here. So maybe somebody typed my email in wrong, but I didn't get notice.
All right, if you would, staff, if you would make every effort to correct that, we would appreciate it greatly.
Thank you.
All right,
Can I just, are we talking about February 2025? So that was over a year and 3 months ago? So that was just overlooked in subsequent meetings? Why hadn't that come before?
why didn't we approve it earlier?
Yeah, in December.
No, the February
haven't-
20, we're in 2026 now. This is February 2025.
We haven't had a meeting
Yes,
since
we-
December 1st.
Correct. And
Oh, okay, whoa.
the December 1st meeting, we didn't approve the meeting minutes from February 19th, and so we are doing it now.
Okay, I just didn't realize that much time had passed. Thank you.
You're
It's
correct
flies.
to notice that we have met, and he's right.
Correct,
We have met since this February 19th meeting, and for whatever reason, we're just approving them now.
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
So
It was an overlook from the last.
are there any corrections or additions that any board member wants to propose for either of the minutes? Hearing none, could I have a motion to approve both?
So move.
Is there a second? Thank you. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
No, we got to do it by name. I think. That's what
We
we
could
do
do
in
roll call
my
vote.
other
Sorry, before we
commissions.
vote, can I just say, my name is also misspelled throughout the December 1st minutes. It's in both. Sorry, small thing, but
All right.
Thank you for pointing that
thanks.
out.
Member Illman,
Yes.
Member Wolf,
Yes.
Member Williams,
yes.
and I, Member Collins, so yes as well. Motion carries. Motions for, or matters for commission consideration. Item 7A, appointment of Civil Service Board Chairperson and Vice Chairperson.
Yes. So historically, for other commissions, they have two different ways that they go about the chairperson and the vice chairperson. So it seems that this board not meeting as frequently as the other commissions has not gone about having a chairperson or a vice chairperson, but being a board with the city of Hermosa Beach, I feel as though it would be important to have a chairperson and vice chairperson.
Well, I'm the chairperson.
What's that?
I'm the chairperson.
Yes, but you have been since, what, 2019, something along those lines? A long time.
Sometime after World War II.
Well, in that case. So typically every year, I would recommend switching the chairperson and vice chairperson. So there's two different ways that we can go about it, and I would love to get your input since there hasn't been any past practice that we've had. So there is one commission that does it based off of seniority, being a member of the board or being a member of the commission. And then another will do it by seats, so by the seat that you're in, but it appears that you all are in different seats than you even were last time. So I would, if I were to recommend, I would say the recommendation would likely be seniority, but I would leave it up to the board for any comments, questions, concerns.
When you say by seats, do you, like, just wherever we happen to be sitting, is there a philosophy behind that? Is there a reason?
Are we in alphabetical order? or
Yeah.
something?
I
So
mean-
other commissions will have set seats since they meet monthly or even more regularly, depending on the commission. But in this case, since we've met 3 times in the last year at this point, it appears that the seats are a little bit more randomized. So that's why I would
That
probably
just
recommend.
seems
seniority.
strange to me. There's no substance behind it.
Well, usually the pro tem usually sits in a designated chair, for instance, on the city council. And so that person rotates
Yeah.
into that, and then they have a particular order at the city council dais that they go in, that's all.
That's
Yeah.
by role, and by seniority makes sense. I mean, you literally just mean seats.
Yeah, so, and I think it's, if they've been on the board, you know, for example, there's 5 city council members, right? And so it's always been the pro tem, the mayor sits in the middle, The mayor pro tem sits on the right side, and then the other council members have their set seats. So if they were to go by seats, for example, after 1 year, they would all alter their seats one, and then there would be a new mayor pro
so
tem,
it's like-
for example. So that's where
So they
the history
shift.
would need to, exactly, they would shift year to year at that point.
Okay, sorry to be getting into the weeds. Okay, got it.
That's okay. So ultimately, I believe it's up to you guys on how you would like to go about it, but I believe we should be appointing a chairperson and a vice chairperson.
I don't think we've ever had a vice.
No time like the
remember
present.
Yeah. Time to appoint one.
I don't know what we do when the chairman isn't here, but I draw straws, I guess. But anyway, is there a motion?
And did you come in the same time as me, or were you here a little before me?
I'm the new kid. I like this seniority stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like sitting over here.
So Bob would probably, Bob, I don't know if you want to do be the chairperson, but you would probably be next up in line.
I'd be happy to keep our current chair
All right?
for the next, this would be for a year?
This would be for a year, yes.
For the next, is it a calendar year or just a year from this time?
We'll go a year from this time, since this is what we're setting the
Well,
precedent.
I'm happy to keep our current chair as our chair for the following year, and then we could go by seniority for vice chair.
I appreciate that. I'm willing to do it if you guys want me to, so,
Sounds good.
all right.
So I so move.
Is there a second?
Absolutely. Second?
All in favor? Member Illman,
Yes?
Member Wolf,
Yes.
Member Williams?
Yes.
And I, Member Collins, abstain.
That's perfect, Bob. I think your appellate training and legal
Motion.
stuff is perfect fit. Thank you for doing that.
All right, how about vice chair? Or the
Vice chair would be
Chair-
next
chair
senior in
vice.
line.
That'd be Mr. Wolf.
No, I thought my motion covered both chair and vice chair.
Oh, it did?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm sorry. What, can I change my vote?
You might
All
lose
right.
his support.
Let's see. So we're done with that, we're done with that. That brings us to item 7B, request to approve revisions to Human Resources Analyst job specification. Any comments, suggestions for,
I have some, just to tee it off, if it's okay to ask Tyler some questions.
Of course.
So one question is we have like 16 of these. Is there a reason why? Is this because we've been building them up over a period of time? Or is there a reason why all of a sudden these are all teed up at one time rather than spread out over a period of time?
So you're just referring to the agenda items in general?
To all these?
why do we have so many all at once?
So the revisions are because we have just hired Boyd Horan, who is our new risk program manager. So if you guys remember from December 1st, we had reclassified the risk management analyst to risk program manager. So some of these revisions, for example, the human resources manager and human resources analyst, is to remove some of that risk management work that is now under the risk program manager. And that is actually organizationally out of human resources at this point. So we're both divisions under the administrative services department, but human resources and risk are technically two different divisions that are just working very closely together. So we've removed some of those. And then there's a lot of, in terms of the new classifications, they had all been brought, and the idea here is to make a class series for a lot of these classifications. So what we decided as a team, Tiffany, my predecessor, and then me as the interim human resources manager, we discussed that we would like to have a lot more promotional opportunities for employees that are doing well in their positions, and just having those options to do so. So we identified a lot of different positions and a lot of different class series that deserve to have a senior position or deserve to have a little bit of a promotion available to them. So for example, recreation supervisor. So the office assistant or recreation coordinator had the opportunity to be promoted to a recreation supervisor if it was budgeted to do so. So realistically, a lot of these are solely classifications that are not going to be tied to anybody. They're just going to be approved, and they're going to sit with the city as approvals so that they can be budgeted in the future.
What's the process? Does it come from your office? Who decides, hey, we have a new title, we have a new position? What's the process? Does it go through the city manager or through Brandon? What's the process?
So the process would be the department head typically reaching out to human resources, or human resources identifying a gap and reaching out to the department head, and in collaboration with the department head or with the department in general, whoever they assign as their designee, we would work together to create and do a classification and compensation study. And once that's done with our benchmark cities or our neighboring agencies, we would then go to the department head or the designee to discuss the duties that are related to the position, what they see for this position that they want as that promotional opportunity or that career ladder, if you will. And then we would create a job description based off of that with the appropriate minimum qualifications, essential duties, abilities, skills, and knowledge, so on and so forth.
So if you're creating a new position, say a supervisor or a director, a new position that maybe somebody can grow into,
Correct.
that would have a different salary range than probably where this person might be now?
Correct, yeah.
And this is for the future budgeting purposes, not for the current 25-26 budget, for instance?
Correct. So the only agenda item that is a reclassification, meaning that it is not for future budget cycles to be budgeted in, is the account clerk series. So that is item 7G, or I'm sorry, not item 7G, that's item 7H, which would immediately reclassify, very similar to the risk program manager, where we reclassified one position to another. So that item 7H would immediately reclassify that, but it's very close when it comes to the budget. In that regard, everything else would be a future item that would need to go into the budget and be approved by City Council in order to be reclassified or promoted or anything.
We're basically
along
not
those
changing any tangible salary increases theoretically by changing these titles or positions, right?
Exactly. So they do have an increase in salary, but it would have to be budgeted and approved by City Council in order for that to be a part of the department in the future.
One last question is, while watching the golf tournament, I was going through some of the details here, and I was trying to match up the titles with the org chart that's in the budget. And there were a lot of titles, or, a lot. Maybe half of these or a third of these, the titles are different here than are in the org chart. And that, I assume, is because you're creating new titles and they're not in the org chart?
That's correct. The organizational chart would have the current titles of the positions that are approved in the budget, where since these are new titles, they wouldn't be in the organizational chart at this point.
Okay, so a lot of these, like you said, a lot of these positions are for future, this is how we would like to be staffed at some point in time, like in HR. You've got, how many people do you have in HR currently, including yourself?
Currently me, and then 2 interns, and then Boyd is kind of a ad hoc between risk and human resources.
And I think you have like 4 positions, I think, in this packet that are HR,
Correct.
and some of those probably aren't filled, I would assume.
No. So, and let me, before we continue, I want to give you a little bit of a rundown of everything, but correct. So for example, there's 2 human resources positions in this agenda packet, one being a new classification for a human resources technician, the other for a senior human resources analyst. So neither of those are currently budgeted in the fiscal year 25-26 budget, and nor will they be able to be filled once approved by the Civil Service Board and City Council. They would need to be budgeted for this upcoming fiscal year 26-27 cycle and approved by the City Council if we wanted to have them filled, but we wanted to have them as an option in case we decided to restructure the division in any way. So I don't think there will ever be a time where there will be 4 human resources positions, being a HR analyst, senior HR analyst, HR manager, and HR technician, but we want to have the option to be able to structure the way that we would like in the future if we decided to reorganize.
Okay, so with HR, for instance, over the years, I don't know, maybe this is, you weren't around, obviously, during this, but how many, this is maybe a little off topic, but how many HR positions has the city operated with over a long period of time? Do you know?
Typically 2 to 3.
Okay. That's all I have.
I just have an overview question as well.
Sure.
Could you reiterate the process that all of these job classifications and reclassifications have gone through? Has it gone up to the city manager and the city attorney? And has it been the same process for every one of these job classification items, or are some going, were they some reviewed by different levels?
Yes. So let me, we created a little PowerPoint for you guys, which is on the screen here. So let me start from the beginning, and then we'll talk about the process towards the end. But I want to kind of bring it back, and then that might answer some of your questions as well. So first and foremost, we'll talk about the background on how all of these came about, since it is a larger amount than typically we see. We'll talk about the revisions, the reclassifications, and the additions that we're going to be going over today, what analysis was done on all of these, which might answer your question a little bit, and then we'll go from there.
Thank you.
Of course. So upon a human resources classification program review, we looked at all of our classifications that we currently have with the city, and what was found is that our current job specifications, a lot of them are very outdated. So they haven't been touched in maybe 10, 20 years, maybe even longer in some cases. And so a lot of the terminology is outdated. A lot of the duties that are a part of these job classifications are also outdated as well. So that's some of the revisions that you all are seeing today. We also noticed a lack of career ladders and class series. So that is one of the points that I just brought up with wanting to provide some promotional opportunities and career ladders for employees in the future. If they have any longevity, it could also very well help with retention as well, as there is currently a retention concern. So having those career ladders and promotional opportunities is a great way to retain our employees quite a bit more by being able to provide those opportunities. And then right now, there's not really a lot of flexibility for management when it comes to position management either. So as I mentioned before, the Human Resources Division, if Brandon and I looked at the Human Resources Division and wanted to hire a HR technician versus an HR analyst and possibly grow them into an HR analyst, or if we felt that we had a really strong HR analyst and wanted to promote them to a senior HR analyst and just have a senior, we want to be able to do that as well if it's budgeted and approved by the city council and the city manager too. So that is a little update on how we came about this. And then ultimately what brought us through doing all of these is that we had a goal to improve employee morale and retention, as mentioned before, by promoting that internal career growth. We recognize some job duties and department structures that have been evolving over time. So whether they wanted new classifications that better suited the organization or their department, or they just have restructured in a way that the job duties are outdated, and so we needed to update those as well. So as you'll see in the agenda packet, for example, the Parks and Recreation Department has quite a few. That's one of those examples of evolving job duties and department structures. We want to provide management classification options when evaluating department needs as vacancies arise. And we have a goal to continue providing exceptional service to the public without increasing FTE. So by doing that, being able to do better with the FTE that we have and providing those opportunities and that exceptional service to the public as well. And we have that goal to update job specification names, content, and duties to ultimately be more aligned with our benchmark cities that we have as well. So our neighboring cities that we have that are very similar to the city of Hermosa Beach, we noticed some of those are also outdated. So being able to modernize those was very important to us. And as a full disclaimer, we do not have any intention on increasing FTE count. When we go to the budget, we don't want to increase FTE. We solely want to provide options and keep or minimize the FTE with the options that we're providing you today as for approval. So when we go through this process, what starts it is either human resources recognizes that something is outdated, there's a change that needs to be made on a job classification or a job specification, or recognizes that there's a gap in a career ladder and makes a recommendation to the department head and city manager to create a job classification specification or revise it as well. And so once that happens, or if a department head or the city manager comes to human resources, so just an alternate approach there, human resources and the department head will collaborate by starting a classification and compensation study that human resources will do. At that point, we analyze all of our neighboring cities that have similar classifications to this specific one. So let's use human resources manager as an example. If we were analyzing or doing a classification and compensation study on HR manager, we would take a look at all of our benchmark cities and basically look at all of their classifications and find their HR manager equivalent based on the duties, the minimum qualifications, knowledge, skills, and abilities that are required for the position. So even if it's something that's titled a little different, if it meets the same job specification in those ways, then we will utilize it. And we'll analyze both the duties and also the compensation. And from there, we'll make a recommendation to the department head, working with them to create a job description based on the analysis that was found. And so once that happens, we will bring it for approval to both the Administrative Services Director and also the City Manager to bring to the Civil Service Board at that point. So that is how that happens. And then we'll also analyze any other differences that are within the job specification. For example, I'm sure you saw in some of the city council meetings, if you watch some of the previous ones, that community resources is now Parks and Recreation. So that is what a couple of these have also needed, is updating the department name within the job specification too. So there's a lot of reasons why we're bringing all of these to you guys today.
Right.
All right, so those are the revisions. And then in terms of the reclassification, the process is starting by the employees coming to Human Resources stating that they felt their job description or their job specification was outside of the duties they were currently performing. So what started with this reclassification is we administered a position duties questionnaire, which we call a PDQ, to those employees to fill out, which was them filling out a form stating what their duties entail currently in their role as an account clerk. And then from there, Human Resources analyzed those PDQs, position duties questionnaires, to determine if they were needing a revision on their job classification. And then from there, we also did a classification and compensation study on what they provided as their job duties. So after that analysis was done, it was determined that they fell closer to, instead of an account clerk, they fell closer to an account specialist, which a lot of other cities utilize that name now in a more modernized sense than the term clerk, so to speak, which is a little bit more outdated. So we took a look at all the account specialists within our benchmark cities and determined that the duties that our account clerks are currently performing is much more in line with those account specialists, which is why we are recommending, which you'll find once we get to that agenda item, that we're recommending they be reclassified to an account specialist. And then looking at their compensation, it also brought a little bit of an increase to their salary range as well in turn with that, because we analyzed all those benchmark data from all of those benchmark cities when it came to that too. And then with these additions, I've already spoken on it, but ultimately we identified some gaps in those career ladders, and we wanted to bring these forward so that there's those opportunities for our employees later on down the line, and providing management the opportunity to have a little bit more flexibility. So that's a little bit of an overview. Are there any other questions before we dive into the agenda?
I could keep going, I had a couple more.
Sure.
That popped up in your, so do we have, for a particular position, is there a salary range for that position written somewhere? If I'm a human resource analyst, can I make between X and X, or is it kind of an open book?
So every salary range has 5 steps. And so it all starts, the salary range, so to speak, starts at step 1, which is the minimum that they can make in their base salary. And then step 5 is the top step that they would make in their base salary, yes.
Those salaries are set by city council, right?
Correct. So city council would approve those salary ranges, yes.
They're not within our jurisdiction.
What's that?
Salaries are not within our jurisdiction.
Correct.
The only other question I had, it sounds like you went through a process for this whole thing? You did a survey of people, and so is this something that's done regularly, or just something, hey, we're outdated, we need to go through this process and have surveys and do this sort of thing?
It's something typically as a human resources manager that you would do on a regular basis. So you wouldn't look at every job classification every year, so to speak, because we have only so many resources that we can do, but every job classification should be reviewed about every 3 years or so in order to make sure it's still up to market and to make sure it's modernized and that the duties are still being conducted by the either person or persons in that position and make adjustments appropriately.
It doesn't look like you hit up, for instance, you didn't hit up the police department except for the one position, or you didn't hit up Public Works. You just, looks like you kind of concentrated on Parks and Rec and admin.
Yeah, and it's all, so we have one police department position in here, and that was brought to us by the police department to create. So it's all about resources, and it's all about prioritization at this point. So once these are done and hopefully approved, we already have some more that are on a list to create as well. So we will be utilizing you guys much more than we have in the past couple of years as well. But yes, it is all about prioritization too with our resources.
Thanks.
Of course.
Any other questions?
Could you amplify what the benchmark cities are? Is it by size,
Like how they're
area, or do they vary according to the positions? Are they the same for everything, or do you have different benchmarks for different positions?
So they're the same for everything, and they're typically based off of the budget, the size of the city, the proximity to our city as well. So for example, we utilize a lot of cities that are close to us with a similar clientele, a similar resident size, and also if we lose a lot of employees to said city, or if we gain a lot of employees from said city, that's another point that we look at when choosing benchmark cities as well. So as an example, we utilize Redondo Beach, we utilize Manhattan Beach, we utilize Seal Beach, and a couple of other inland cities as well that are similar size or similar budget to what we have in terms of the amount.
Okay.
I have comments for discussion. Is it an appropriate time to do that?
Go ahead.
About this? Okay, so first I just want to say that I appreciate that this is part of a big overhaul and update, and it's a whole effort. I think that's important, and I'm so happy that we're doing it. And also, I do have faith in staff. I do not mean to imply anything different, but I'm going to just share my thoughts. I've only done 2 meetings. As we know, I missed the February one, right? So I am learning. But I got to say, I feel overwhelmed by 16 jobs, classifications, what do we call them?
Job specifications.
Job specifications.
Yes. Yeah.
Given that the December meeting, when we only had 2 that we looked at, and we found stuff to talk about in those 2. So I don't.
Yeah, it really is a burden.
So I just have a couple more comments. So I don't want to make things so hard and cumbersome. And I certainly, like I said, I appreciate the job ladder, and these are people that need to move forward. Mm-hmm. I don't want to make it so hard. But I'm just personally, maybe partly because I'm new, I'm uncomfortable with blanket approving 16 at once.
Well, and that's why they're listed separately, so that you don't have to approve them all. We can take a look at each one.
Sure.
And answer any questions you have, come back with any information you need. But that's why they are listed separately.
And certainly, yes. And candidly, I haven't dived into the weeds of 16. I have done some, but I guess what I'm saying is I'm just going to look to leadership of the more seasoned members. But I just wanted to offer my perspective. I think. And semi-separately, I think there's 16, and I noticed that 7H and 7Q, are the same. They're both AS037. And I think you said that was the one that was tied to a person, and forgive me, I'm trying to just follow along and catch up. But so it was like duplicative, but maybe that's on
Two
purpose.
accounting clerks in there.
It's 26 AS 037 is item,
Two account specialists.
and that's the one is it Q and H or G? Yeah, 7H and 7Q.
Yes, we did notice that earlier, and it is revised now. So, yeah, that was a duplicate in the original agenda that we had sent out, but we did fix that mistake.
Well, then I heard him call that one out, so maybe that was on purpose. I thought maybe that was,
Well,
because it's tied to a
On
person.
my agenda, 7H and 7Q were different. Well, I don't even have an LMNOP. I don't even have a Q.
The duplicates were a software error.
Okay. But, and also, just so I understand it again, bear with me as I learn. Did I hear you say that these are just kind of currently placeholders that could be filled? There's no person tied to them, but in the future, somebody can slot in, which is kind of the point, right?
Correct.
So, like-
And if these are approved by Civil Service Board and City Council, then staff would have the option to budget for these in future budget cycles.
So let's say that we approve these and there's a place, and tell me if I'm getting this wrong, please. If there's like a placeholder for a future job, let's say, then the city wants to hire somebody to fill that job, then does somebody else also review it? Or is it, you know what I mean? Is there another layer of review at that time, like us, or no?
No. So basically, a job specification is solely a position that is approved with the city. So it's not tied to a position number. It's not tied to a person. It's solely a title.
It's a definition.
Exactly, that the city can use moving forward.
And it's
then,
not
then if
budgeted.
if one of the departments wants to have a position in that classification, they go to city council through the
Budget process.
through the city administrative officer, and the council gets all the information, and the council decides whether to create that position within a department. And if they do, then these
Got it.
specs govern who can be in that, who can apply for that position, and what they have to do when they get hired, if they get hired.
Correct.
Okay, I
So
think that-
as an example, let's say the senior crime and intelligence analyst, as an example. By approving this today, you're solely approving that we could possibly utilize that title in the future, but it's not going to be tied to an employee. It's not going to be tied to a position number. It would need to be budgeted to be filled at that level.
It's
at
just,
that
it's just the
point.
definition of the job requirements and job duties.
Yes,
In the event that the city decides that it needs somebody to do those things.
correct.
Thank you.
That's how classifications work.
Got
Budget
it.
process starts on the 28th of this month.
Got it. So it really is just a description. That makes
Yes.
me feel
Exactly.
much better. Thank you
Exactly.
very much.
That's
Yes.
actually what they're called generally in government, is position descriptions or job specifications.
Right.
And then just remind me that one, the one that's tied to a real person, it's an actual person, number 37, it's a little bit different because, or maybe it's not different.
Yeah, in that one, so for the account clerk, so that is item 7H, that is tied to a group of individuals in the Revenue Services Division of Administrative Services Department. And the reason for that is that their duties that they're currently performing in their position no longer align with the account clerk job specification, which required us to go out and do a survey on other cities that have those types of positions, and it was determined at that point that the account specialist is more in line with what they're doing at this point, which is why we're requesting that reclassification, so that we can have a job specification that's in line with what they're currently performing right now.
See, this is why I feel confident with staff, and I appreciate you indulging my questions, and I feel much better that we've had this conversation.
Of course.
Just one other overview. For next steps, it's kind of a two-part question. Commissioner Ellman talked about the beginning of the budgeting process. So is this something that you want to have in place for the beginning of the budgeting process for the next year? That's number one. And number two, is the idea that these will all go to the council as a single packet with a single motion, or will they be considered separately or over time? I just wondered both of those questions. So about timing and how they're ultimately going to be. There's only one more step from us is going to the council, and would it go as like a single agenda item?
Well, does the council have to approve the classification changes that this board approves?
Yes.
It does.
Yes. So the answer is yes to both of those questions. So first, yes, we are planning on trying to have these approved before the budget cycle in case anyone wants to place any of these job specifications in their budget request. And then two, yes, they will be put together all in one as an approval on the consent calendar. And if the city council has any issues with any of them, they will be able to pull them at that point and ask staff more questions.
Okay, so it'll come to the council as a huge, well, we know what size it is. It's the same size that we have today, but it'll be on their consent calendar.
The titles will be listed out separately, but it'll all be one item.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any other questions? All right, how do you want to handle these? Are there any of the items 7A through, I don't know what, 7Q, that anybody on the board wishes to discuss?
Of course, I have some, sorry.
Which ones?
I can just start from the top.
No, tell me, I want you to tell me which ones.
I can start with human resource analyst. I just have.
Give me the,
The first one,
what number?
that would probably be, let's see, was that 7A?
Item 7A.
7A.
Well, did you anticipate, was there a more
7B.
formal presentation on item by item that you had anticipated any explanation, or are you just wanting input from us? What was your plan for all of these individual items?
I mean,
in
I guess
terms of
I would recommend
presentation?
going item by item from 7A all the way down and maybe just one at a time, asking questions on each item and then making a motion for approval of said item.
Okay, I'm fine with that.
Well, we have a limited amount of time,
Yeah, you're right.
already 5:45.
Do we have a time limit?
Well, I have a time limit.
Oh.
I gotta be out of here at 6.
Okay. So let's just move through.
I just have a handful of
can.
questions if you want me just to rifle through them.
Sure.
Okay, human resource analyst, which is 7B, it looks like.
B?
It looks like.
B like boy?
Yes. It looks like workers' comp was moved out of there. I assume that's to the risk manager department.
Yes.
It's no longer in HR at all.
We will be doing the leave of absence portion of workers' compensation, but the workers' comp claim process and the workers' comp program will be under risk program manager.
Okay. For Parks and Rec director, I noticed that
Again,
there's
which
no
one-
class
Which
characteristics.
one is that, please? This is important for the record.
Okay. It's probably the community, that's probably 7F, which was formerly the Community Resources Director, now it's the Parks and Rec Director. I didn't notice that there were any, class characteristics was crossed out. Was that for a reason?
No, there was no reason for that.
Just what you want to do? Okay. The next one, senior account clerk. Looks like you deleted payroll. Who handles payroll currently?
Is that 7J?
Yes, 7G. Currently, one of our accountants oversees payroll.
Okay. And that's the one there was a duplicate. I'll move on. A number of these didn't match up to the org chart, but you kind of went through that, so I'll
Yeah.
pass on those questions. How many openings are there currently in HR in general? Do you know? Is there, are there
In the HR department or
Yeah.
in the city as a whole?
in the HR department?
We have one vacancy
You do?
currently.
Okay. For which position?
Human resources manager.
Okay. And is that your position, that you're an interim?
I'm interim, correct.
Okay. How long have you been an interim, just out of curiosity?
3 months?
Oh, nice.
In Parks and Rec, how many vacancies are there? Do you have any idea?
0 full-time vacancies.
Really? That's great. Let's see if there's anything else. In the one item that had to do with the police department, the senior crime prevention and intelligence analyst position, which is for Doug's use. Let's see if I can find it. It's toward the bottom. It is
I think it's 7P.
7P is in Paul.
Yes.
So that one, that is a police department item. Is there somebody currently in that position?
Yes, we currently have a crime and intelligence analyst.
Okay. And that's totally under the police department? It's not a hybrid position where part of it goes to the police department? It's all police department?
Correct, yeah.
Okay. That's all I had, Doug.
All right.
Only took 4 minutes.
Let's see, which were those again? 7F, G, P, what was the other one?
I don't know. But I think you got them all for the record.
So just on the last item, the senior, that is just a promotional opportunity, as you mentioned. So that position would not currently be filled. It would just be up to the police department in the future, in a future budget request to include that.
Exactly.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
All right, but you said there were 4, and all I have is F, G, and P. What was the other class?
He did ask about 7B as well.
7B?
Yes.
Like boy? All right. Are there any other questions about items 7B, F, G, or P? If not, could I have a motion to approve those?
I second it.
No, I don't know, somebody's got to make the motion first.
Oh, I thought you made a motion. I'm
No,
sorry.
I don't, I'm a chair, I can't make the motion.
I make a motion to approve the job specifications as we have them.
And that's with respect to all of them, or just respect to B, F, G?
Unless
and
anybody
P?
had any other comments to all of them.
Are there any other comments? So your motion is to approve 7B through 7P?
Correct.
All right, is there a second?
Wait, 7B,
B is in boy through 7P is in Peter.
so we're not approving A?
A was our,
Already's done.
Sorry.
Is there a
Okay.
second?
I'll second.
All right, fine. All in favor of approving items 7B through 7P, 7 boy through 7 Peter on today's agenda, vote aye. Please vote. Got confused here. Who's in favor of the motion to approve 7B through 7P?
We'll have a roll call.
I am so sorry. We missed public comment.
Oh,
So we would have to open up public comment for those items.
any public comment?
No, I did not get any
Sure.
speaker cards, and there's no one online, so.
They're all bored and asleep, so.
good catch.
Okay, that's it.
All
We
right.
just had to open that up.
Hearing no public, request for public comment, we will move to the vote. All in favor of approving items 7B through 7 boy through 7P, 7 Peter, say aye.
Aye.
But we'll got to do roll call. So, let me get this out here. All right. Member Ellman,
Aye.
Member Wolf,
Yes.
Member Williams.
Aye.
And I, Member Collins, vote yes as well. So, does that take care of the entire agenda? I think it does.
It does. Just need a motion to adjourn.
Oh, before we adjourn, if you could just go through anticipated timing, you mentioned that this process is going to continue for other positions, and I'm just curious if you have a sense of when in the year that would happen and come before us. just so we have an idea
How-
about
how
what
many
to
are there?
expect.
What's that?
How many are there?
No, there's only a few more. But I may identify, as I mentioned, I'm going through a lot of the job classifications currently to try to modernize them. So I may notice that there's some that need to be brought to your attention. And if that's the case, there may be a few, but there'll be revisions. And then in terms of creating new job classifications or specifications, there are, I believe, 2 or 3 that are currently on my list that still need a full classification and compensation study. So I would say it's not going to be before the new fiscal year. It'll likely be sometime in the
This
next,
July 1st fiscal year?
yeah. So I would say over the summer to early fall, maybe a good timeline there.
And my other question was just the process of the new human resources manager. Where are we? And I believe your predecessor, she was here for a fairly short term. Is that? And
Didn't she
Is there
just move down
anything-
the coast a bit?
Yes, she was here for shorter of a time than expected, but she ended up getting a really great promotional opportunity over on the east side a little bit. So, and it's a little bit closer to home. She was, as you remember from last time, she was driving quite the ways, as you recommended, I think. What was it?
Right.
The car dealership bathrooms.
Okay, we'll
So-
let that one go.
Exactly. So, yes, but she had a great opportunity that she couldn't pass up. So she's doing really well. And then the human resources manager interviews are this week, actually. And so we should have a new human resources manager, definitely by the next time.
Have you
we meet.
applied for the job?
I have, yes.
You have not?
I have, yes.
Oh, you have? Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. So, did we had a motion to adjourn?
You don't need a motion to adjourn. You can just adjourn.
You sure? All right, we're done.
All right.
Just a
Thank you
time.
all so much. I appreciate you coming today.